Well, hello there, motherfuckers. Let me get a little bit closer here for a minute. Just showing off my my new shirt. Anyway, yeah. So Walking Dead, season 4, the season finale. How about that, huh? The best thing they ever did for this series was getting him the fuck out of that prison. It's back on the road again. Back to adventure. You know, I like this. I like the new direction the series is taking. This, you know, since the mid-season premiere, things have been pretty exciting for this show. Now, I criticized this show for being boring at times, for the plot to drag, for sometimes there being filler episodes. But I won't go back on my word. There were some filler episodes for this thing. Now, not to say they were bad episodes, but I thought that there were some times when this show was dragging their feet. You know, I'm somebody that strongly believed that Breaking Bad was better than Walking Dead. I do. But when you have a series of episodes like this that were just fucking amazing storytelling and just incredible character development, I won't take that away from Walking Dead. I always appreciated the character development and even the storyline. I think it would be idiotic and ignorant to say anything otherwise. But this is a series that drags its feet at times and takes time to develop. But I appreciate that, you know, that the creators are trying to find their way. Yes, I know it's still heavily based on the graphic novel, with things, you know, just being changed around a bit. Certain things didn't happen. They're changing certain things. But, you know, this is also a series where I think they're going along and they're discovering these characters, you know, because they're developing them, making them more developed than the graphic novel. Because the thing is, you know, with the benefit of television, you get to hear these characters, you get to see them in full movement, you get to see, you know, the facial expressions really change, you get to see different things, real reactions from real life human beings. And that is where this show has advantages over the graphic novel. You know, now the graphic novel had the benefit of probably telling the story at a quicker pace, you know, unless they wanted those graphic novels to be hundreds of pages. They had to speed through the story a bit, and it's a little bit different. But, you know, the TV series has the benefit of having actors. You know, and sometimes that could be a little bit annoying at times because they're trying to find their way, but I think they are finding their way quite well now. You know, the prison thing slowed things down. I will give them this benefit to have, you know, now what was, you know, quite a few seasons, like 2 seasons now of like 1.5 seasons in the prison. Well, quite a few episodes, you know, over a dozen episodes inside the prison, and, you know, that they managed to tell a story from just like a single scenario. Now, you know, that was impressive, and I got a little bit boring at times, and sometimes it was a little bit bland than being in one spot. You know, it was realistic because they had a good area to hide in, to be in the prison, you know, and stay safe. It was their safe haven, and you could understand why, as characters, they would want to stay in that one area. That was a little bit tedious, though, for the viewer, I think, them just staying in there all the time, and, you know, just killing zombies at the fence. You know, they went over to the governor's safe haven, and, you know, they caused chaos over there, which was, you know, probably the peak for Season 3. Season 4, I enjoyed the storytelling with the governor. Really, though, the beginning of Season 4, the whole thing with the infection, it added a little bit of liveliness to it, but it really put the series at a standstill. it seemed more of an excuse to keep them in the prison at times. It wasn't the most exciting thing, is what I'm going to say. It was, a pretty decent little story arc there, but it doesn't compare to what they did now from the mid-season point premiere on. They definitely improved it. I prefer this 100 times more to them just dealing with a sickness. Now, the things with the governor's solo episodes and things like that, now those were quality. But, it doesn't compare to now. The whole thing with the claimed gang and Daryl and, just every single fucking thing from that point on has been classic. You have this story with Carol. Now, Carol is a character that at first was timid. She was boring. There wasn't a lot to Carol. There wasn't anything at all, really, where you would seem like an idiot if you were a person to say that Carol was your favorite character. Because there really wasn't much to Carol. She didn't really benefit a lot. However, in, season 4, you could say this about the character development. She has developed immensely. She has become like a brand new character, a brand new person even. She has taken on the role of, almost seeming like a Rick, having to make the tough decisions. And she had to make a very tough decision here in this season. And it was one of the most shocking moments. And, gotta say, Carol had some very tough decisions to make at the beginning of the season, and another tough one to make at the very end. And, they were all pretty shocking. You didn't expect such a timid woman who was very boring at first, and maybe that was their intention, and they really just, her character has been spruced up. She's one of the most exciting characters on the show. And the way how the series now ended, without any spoilers or anything, and sometimes I think it's a little bit silly to get upset about certain spoilers because, when they're all over the internet. But now this thing with Terminus, it appears that these people are cannibals. And, I'm not going to spoil, I don't know what happens because I don't read the graphic novels. I've never read any of them ever because I don't want to be spoiled for it. But, this is pretty exciting now. Now this is like a little bit ironic. They were staying in the prison, almost like foreshadowing, but they weren't imprisoned. They chose to imprison themselves, but now they are imprisoned and they're waiting, to find out their fate with these cannibals from Terminus. Now that is excellent storytelling. I like how they did that. You can see the foreshadowing, coming from even a whole season back now. Now you look at it together and it's like a huge puzzle being put together. Now you see like the ideas that they had now, how they've all been snowballing, and now you got a big snowball, everything is coming together nicely. You see, like, why they did certain things in the series and how it's all being put together. I give this mid-season, this whole thing, this whole half of the season, I give it an A+. I think it was fucking excellent. I give it like a 10 out of 10. Those some of the most exciting episodes, some of the most entertaining episodes, some of the most crucial episodes I think I've ever seen in any series. That was very eventful. You had so much taking place, characters developing, and I like how everybody was separated. You saw all these solo stories, but now you see that everybody is coming back together. And, they need each other. There's no way that they could survive alone. That was the whole entire thing. What would Daryl do? He was roaming around with the claim gang. What was Daryl going to do if it wasn't for Rick? And please, don't tell me that that wasn't one of the most shocking moments when you saw Rick bite the leader of the Claim Gang right there on the neck, pulling a fucking walker on his ass. That has to be one of the most shocking fucking things I've seen in television and film. I just did not expect it. You were thinking like, what do you, when Joe asked him, what are you going to do? Yeah, what was he going to do? The man was armed with a gun. You were beating the shit out of everybody. What was Rick going to do? He had no choice but to do what he did. And, still though, it was shocking. It wasn't something in my mind, and it was incredible because it was something like, as a human being, if you were in that situation, I don't even think most people would think to do that. But Rick did. And that's something that shows that, he's becoming a real survivalist, like how this whole entire scenario has changed him. Alright, motherfuckers, this has been an incredible series, I think, so far. Now, the boring parts of this series I'm slightly forgiving, because now, I understand what they were doing. It was a little bit tedious at times throughout this series, but, now I'm seeing the benefit of all the storytelling and, how it's all come together. Alright, motherfuckers, if you haven't seen this mid-season yet, I think it's time to watch.